Hello, guys. We are back for round 2 of Para-Ops Paranormal. Oh my goodness. Open-minded paranormal skeptics. There we go. I'm your host, Sky, and here with me today is co-host.
Hello, my name is Seth. It's always happy to be here. It's been so long since the last time I saw you. We got to catch up sometime.
Oh gosh.
Are you guys ready to explore your fears and review some evidence with us? We got it.
All right.
We're good. Yeah. We're professional.
All right. So why don't we hop into this? So this clip is from where again, Sky?
This is actually from the George Taylor house. So Sky and I were there, part of the team.
And you were?
I was getting there. My name is Bree. One of the other public relation managers, and then this one was not there. So you and him all get to listen in, try to figure out what exactly you're hearing. Let us know. Just as a warning, it is super, super quiet, so put your listening ears on, and we're going to go ahead and play it.
All right. Here we go.
Did you see that? I heard somebody say sure.
What was that?
Yeah, somebody just said sure.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, yeah.
All right, so a little quiet on there. You can hear it. Believe what around the.
So it's actually around like the 7 to 8 seconds mark. So we can definitely go ahead and play that again now that you guys know. But definitely try very hard to listen.
If you need headphones, throw them in.
Yeah, headphones are great. They work perfectly for things like this.
You're wonderful. I love our headphone listeners. Let's go ahead and play that again.
Did you see that? I heard somebody say sure.
What was that?
Yeah, somebody just said sure.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a little bit easier to hear once you're actively listening for it.
So we were there when we were in the room. We heard right from the get-go. All of us heard it. It wasn't just a clairvoyance kind of thing. It was all of us, same room. So that was really cool, actually. In the clip, though, it does actually sound like something else. I don't know if you picked up on that, but
I did. What did you hear, Sky? Before I say what I heard.
It almost I could understand where the RE in the ending comes from, because it really, to me, it sounded like somebody said here, like a woman was like here.
Like I'm not late for class.
Attendance.
Yeah. Roll call.
So I also heard here. I honestly cannot remember if we heard that in the room or not, if that's the word that we heard. Because I know that at the beginning it was sure. And then we had a lot going on that night.
We did, because it was directly before or after that we had our guest investigator. He had the meters, the K2.
Yes.
And it was going off like crazy in that same room. Like there was just somebody there.
Sorry. And what is a K2 meter?
A K2 reads the energy in the room, so it has these little lights on it. And anytime something comes into the energy field, it'll light up. And it goes from green all the way up to red.
Okay, so it's like just like a EMF.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We do have some comments over here. We've got Frank saying, "Hello, guys. I heard sure."
Hi, Frank.
And hello, Larissa. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, so it was definitely a crazy night. We were, just for complete clarity, we were on 2 separate teams. There were a couple of buildings on site that we were all going into, but we broke up into 2 teams. So the other team that we were with, they were in a completely separate building. So we couldn't hear them, they couldn't hear us. no overlay or overlap or anything like that, which was super cool. But we, like Sky was saying, we did have a guest investigator with us. He had a blast. I think
I think he's a true believer after that night.
It was definitely a night full of experiences for him. He was not expecting it, but he was a real trooper. He was cool. So
It was great.
actually,
Great for
he
volunteering.
popped into one of our episodes a couple days ago as one of the commenters.
Oh, okay.
So that was him. He
that's nice.
he was carrying our backpack and everything.
Carrying a backpack.
So-
The pack mule, if you will.
Yes. No, he was a trooper though. I hope that he tries to join us again.
All right, that'd be awesome.
So
All right. So what we are going to do, I believe, is we're going to show this one more time, let you guys hear it, get a feel for it, really just get in there. And let me just pull that up.
Did you see that? I heard somebody say sure.
What was that?
Somebody just said sure.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's. So what's some of the history going on there at the George Taylor house? Because I personally had never heard of it up until learning about the investigation.
Truthfully, I don't listen to the history.
You know, listen to history.
we have a history buff on the team.
Okay.
Actually, we have two history buffs on the team
Yes.
now. One of them has not been on investigations with us yet.
Okay.
But Ducky is very into learning about the history for everything. You guys, if you haven't been watching any of our other videos, you wouldn't know who Ducky is, but you will soon. He'll be on here eventually. You'll get to know him. You'll get to love him, just like we do. So, but we can definitely come back to that. We absolutely have other clips from George Taylor House. So the next episode that we do have that has a clip from that, we can definitely try getting Ducky on and have him go into his whole little history. But
Yeah, that would be awesome. Actually, I think everybody would really like that. You can let us know down in the comments.
it was a really cool location though. They did have little bits of history plaques everywhere, kind of explaining like the background for any previous owners, why it is called the George Taylor House. I'm so out of breath right now. But it was a really, really neat experience. A very cold experience.
It was freezing. I
It
couldn't
was.
feel any part of my body.
It was so cold. I was, at one point, not in the building that we were in for this clip, but the other building has no electricity or anything like that.
Really?
Very, very old, very crickety. Super cool though. I remember we're all trying to sit upstairs, do an experiment, and my legs just would not stop shaking. And Ducky just looks over at me. He's like, "Is that you?" And I'm like, "I can't stop. I don't know what you want from me."
Would you do it for a Scooby snack?
So like the entire time my leg is just bouncing. I'm just shaking the entire floor, and I'm like, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" I'm pretty sure I set the Boo Buddy off a couple times.
Oh no.
Truthfully, I don't think so because we tested it out. The ones that were closer to the Boo Buddy,
okay.
we tested it out. I don't think you were setting it off at all because even us sitting as close as we weren't setting it off.
That makes me
Something
feel
was
a lot better then.
something set it off.
It was a really neat location. I would love to go back at some point. It seems like if I'm not sure what other clips we're going to be putting up from that investigation quite yet, but if you weren't there to watch our live for it, we got quite a lot up until a certain point, and I think that they were just as tired of us as we were of the cold buildings.
Yeah, definitely. On lives, there's plenty of stuff that people could check out, like on our
Absolutely.
Facebook.
And
We have
the videos
just in
still
the
up.
lives itself. We had crazy things happening that
Mhm.
how do you explain it? Sitting there, we don't know.
Well, I guess that's what we're here for, calling all skeptics. So,
So when you
Well,
guys
we-
are doing, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sky.
No, you're okay. Go ahead.
When you guys are doing investigations, because I haven't been out with you yet.
Mhm.
When you're doing investigations, how how do you go from room to room? Do you fan out, so to speak? Do you cluster together?
We cluster together. I'm gonna let Sky explain the order just because I don't want to be wrong.
So typically we have 2 teams and we separate, and it really depends on how many people we have, but a lot of times the teams consist of like 5 to 6 people. Sometimes it's a little less. It really depends. We have a lead investigator, a lead psychic, and then we have the investigators and guest investigators sometimes, not always. They're fun to have though.
They are.
And then, so what happens is like how we go in. I guess you could say we cluster together, especially when it's cold. You got to do the penguin huddle.
Your body.
Honestly.
I'm sorry. So how we go in order would be our lead psychic, and then our lead investigator with the SLS would follow behind them, because as they're reading the room, they might say, we have an entity here, and the SLS will typically pick it up. You get a little stick figure guy. And then the investigators kind of follow in after that to take pictures, and they bring in the EVPs and the K2 meters. And that's really how it is. But when we have 2 groups, we are nowhere near each other, no matter what building we're in. If we got 4 floors, one will start up in the attic, the other one will start in the basement, and we go this way.
Just meet in the middle there.
Switch, we do it again.
Yeah, we try very hard to keep it separate just so there is no interference sound wise. Because if we're in one of the buildings and somebody like does go outside of the building that we're in, we can hear them clearly. But thankfully we know that it's them and not something that's, paranormal happening around us. Which it definitely spooks us for a second there. Like we're like, oh man, what was that? Oh wait. It was so-and-so outside having a cigarette or taking a phone call or something.
Yeah, so we have like one main rule. We have one main rule. Do not whisper, especially when it comes to taking our EVPs. So what we heard in that recording, nobody was whispering. All of us were standing in the same room. And when Larissa yells, what is that? You better own up to it was you, if it was you. Otherwise, it's not. We don't know where it came from. There could have been a spirit just hanging out right next to Bree.
We were making friends.
Yeah.
It was a good time. No, it's definitely a very important rule. Like if your shoe squeaks or your stomach is like, hey, feed me, or you sneeze or whisper anything like that, it's super important just because we want to make sure that we're not getting anything that can be misconstrued as evidence. So it's really helpful when people are like, hey, my bad, sorry. So
I will say I would love to see a ghost with allergies.
oh, you know what? That's gonna be me.
Hear him sneeze.
So it's definitely I think that's probably gonna be like our number 1 rule for it. That, and don't just blatantly try to lie about things, because like even going back, like sometimes like I've noticed at least we'll be checking out like evidence or something like that, and then we'll realize after the fact, oh hey, maybe that wasn't this, and then we'll all talk about it, and it's disappointing sometimes like figuring out that something's not evidence, but
I think that's the most disappointing thing.
What?
Truthfully, when we find out that it wasn't like legit evidence, I get so upset because I'm like, no, it has to be. I heard it. You heard it. It's real. It's not.
Yeah, but that's definitely part of our job as well, is debunking things and making sure that we're not putting out wrong information, because that's the last thing we want to do. We want to be up with it. We want to have clarity for all sides. Skeptics. We want to make believers out of the people who don't believe. So that's our goal here. So,
it is.
Or at least that's my goal here. So I want to help people and open some doors.
Open some minds.
Yeah, open some minds. There we go.
I think that is the most important thing, to open minds of skepticals, right?
But
So guys, we hope that you have found some truth in exploring fears with us and evidence. And I hope, did you guys?
I think it was pretty neat. It's so in my opinion, because I've always been more skeptical. I mean, you've seen before.
Yeah.
How I always automatically assume it's anything.
Something else.
But
It's the wind. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the wind.
yeah, the wind said it's coming for your soul. Yeah, that's what happened. But for me, it's did a chair get moved? Did somebody accidentally bump into something? And maybe even not realize it, not just that they didn't own up to it. So that's where my mind goes. But having not been there and clearly seeing the disparity between what you guys heard in person and what's on the recording, that's where I'm like, well, maybe that's not that.
Right.
And that segues into, the general belief of the paranormal.
I know personally I have way too much anxiety to even move, like when we're trying to do experiments or anything, except for the whole leg shaking thing. But I literally couldn't help it. It was so cold in that building.
So
I think it was like, it had to have been like 20 below or 20 below. No,
20 below.
below 20 degrees or something. It was
definitely was.
horrible. I was just nonstop. I cannot wait to get my hoodie for the team. So
Can we play it again?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
got to refresh Larissa's memory
Larissa,
on this fun.
Did you see that? I heard somebody say sure.
What was that?
Somebody just said sure.
That's just what I heard too, yeah.
Well,
there it is.
still cool. Still super cool.
It is really neat.
Makes me want to go back like tomorrow.
Woo. Yeah, he remembers. All right. Look at
All right.
we have some family love going on in here. I believe this is Ducky. It says Facebook user, but I'm going with Ducky.
I will say the name Facebook user is very, very convenient for the advent of social media.
But I'm definitely excited for you to go on to your first investigation with us.
Cannot wait.
Because you are definitely a skeptical person, if I've ever met one. So I'm very excited for you and for our viewers to see you in a situation. You're just like, what was that? It'll be like caveman SpongeBob,
Just like the old movies, like Cletus, go get the camera.
But it'll definitely be interesting. Whether it be George Taylor or one of our other really cool locations coming up, but we're not going to say anything about that. So
Just gonna have to keep tuned.
Have you investigated the Waldorf?
Me?
Yes. Hell
Oh
House.
no.
The Waldorf.
No, I've never been on a paranormal investigation in my life.
not one.
No. Well, I don't know if you're joining us January 13th, but January 13th, we are investigating with Daryl Marston from Ghost Hunters.
Yes,
There are
I am
tickets.
very much so looking forward to it.
There's tickets on Eventbrite for those of you that are not a member of our team.
Yes,
You will absolutely love this. Waldorf is phenomenal. There's so much activity there.
There
I've
really is.
heard. On a previous broadcast, Larissa had been telling us about the cage, and I would like to enter the cage, and I'm going to bring a steel chair.
Is this WWE with the spirits?
Hey,
I
you're
got
the
my
wall host
boxing
for
I
that.
was going to say on P.A.R.A.Normal. Let's go.
We're set. P.A.R.A.
It's
Live
all lining
and
up for us now. We got this.
All right, but I do believe we are out of time for today. So if you would like to lead us out, Sky.
Yes, we are. Well, my viewers, we hope that you are. Ooh, wait, before we go, our last comment. Seth, you're in for a treat for the first investigation.
Yes, he is, Frank.
I hope so. I am very excited for it.
Frank is a #1 fan and has investigated with us, so he knows what it's all about.
Well, I look forward to meeting you.
On that note, I hope you all have a great night and you have explored our evidence with us and your fears are gone. Come, open your mind. Don't be skeptical.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.